Hello everyone. So this is my take on the recent outage on Zherka and Heelmike, and the sort of crazy, weird, creepy stuff that they've been indulging in. Um, it was just disgusting to say the least. But I was expecting something like this. I was absolutely expecting when I saw this particular guy Zherka on Fresh and Fit, and consistently he would talk about doing stuff like this. Now it would get masked as a joke. Oh, he's just joking around. He's just trying to put these girls in their place. He's just trolling them, right? But if you're trolling consistently on one subject, right? You're just talking about one thing. Then it just means that that's what's on your mind, right? So anyone who knows enough about Zherka, I don't know anything about this heel Mike guy. I think he's maybe on Kick and Twitch. I never watched that anything on those platforms, but Zherka, I saw him on podcasts here and there, and anyone who knows a bit about this guy, right away that he's about this stuff, right? 100%. So, I mean, this topic has already been covered very, very well, but by other content creators, by other YouTubers. But I want to talk about one thing that people I think are hitting, they're missing the mark. Um, there was this one, one of the receipts was that when they messaged the girl's father, and the girl's father is like, yeah, she's 16. What the hell? So he gave like that kind of like a weak response to the fact that his daughter's being abused, and everybody started clowning on this dude, and everybody's mocking this dude, rightfully so. He deserves it, right? You allowed your daughter to fall into a pit of predators, right? Your 16-year-old daughter, you as a father did nothing to stop that, right? And I'm not trying to take away attention and focus on these weirdos, these creeps, but what I want to talk about on that particular issue is it is really not talked about the fact that a lot of fathers in the West do not have a lot of control over the lives of their kids, and it's almost always, especially when it comes to cases like this, it's almost always the fault of enabling moms. 100%. I guarantee you, a lot of times this guy tried to intervene in his daughter's life in the sense that he tried to get her to stop doing certain things very, very early on, because all men know that these things can happen. Men know men. So can all men have a good sense of danger, right? So I guarantee you this guy tried very, very early on to make sure that his daughter doesn't end up in this pit, but then the mom always counter intervenes and basically blocked them. So you look at a lot of these girls and the life that they live, and then you look at their moms, and then it makes sense 100% of the time. You look at girls like this who end up in these situations, and I'm not blaming these girls at all. Like, I don't want anybody to think that, oh, you're just, no, 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 I'm not blaming the girls at all. These are young girls, they're young, impressionable, malleable children. I'm not blaming them at all. But what I am saying is, if you look at them and you look at their moms, you'll be able to connect the dots. And you look at the dad's kind of like a henpecked, weak dude with no sense of agency left in it whatsoever. But it's always the mom who's driving the bus in these situations. It's always the mom. It's always the mom tells you, oh, don't get involved in her dress. Don't get involved in her makeup. She's just young. Don't restrict her. And then now we got these new buzzwords of toxic masculinity and all that stuff that gets put into these families as well, right? And so that's what I read from the way this guy's responding. I've seen a lot of guys like that. I've seen a lot of guys who've been neutered by their wives to the point that they have no control even on the lives of their kids. They're not even able to protect their kids because you got a brainless mom. I'm not saying all of them, right? I don't want people losing their minds, but you got one of these new age modern moms who think that it's okay to let your kids do whatever they want, and that's how they end up in these situations. Look, here's the thing. The term victim blaming, and I'm somebody, I like to cut the slack for a lot of people as much as I can, right? I like giving people the benefit of the doubt. I really, and I pride myself in that, right? Um, I will say this though. There's a reason why the word victim blaming doesn't have a translation in other languages. Because it is a Western concept. And it is a word primarily used by people who never have to face the consequences of their actions, right? And now that I said this, if enough people watch this video, the first thing they're going to say in the comment section is, oh, you're victim blaming. Look, I'll say it one more time. I'm not blaming these girls at all. They're young. Due to their age, I cast no blame on them whatsoever. I 100% blame the dudes for being creeps. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that there's always going to be these creeps out there. There's always going to be these people who are going to try to look for these types of opportunities. These people are always going to exist. They exist in the financial world where they try to prey on people who are not as financial literate to kind of fleece them. They exist in a whole bunch of walks of life and in this as well, right? These people will always exist. And if your kid ends up in this situation, I'm 100% going to blame you. But not just that, I'm not just going to blame both parents equally. I'm going to blame one particular parent in that situation. Because 9 out of 10 times, it is a liberal mom. I mean, like, look, dude. We saw that same thing with the breakdancing. This guy is always coming up with new receipts, and even he said, look, I don't blame my daughter at all. Even that dude said, I don't blame my daughter at all because it is her mom that's poisoning her head. And and that girl went out and started insulting her dad, and he's like, oh, my relationship with my son are great, but and the mom took millions of dollars from me. Like, you guys have no idea how common this is. You have no idea how common this is, right? This is a case of modern women who have more control in the lives of their kids than the father, right? Because why you need a mom for the nurturing, for the caring, for the just overall healthy upbringing of the child. You need a father for protection, for building self-esteem, for building confidence, and all that good stuff, right? But you take the father out of that, and then you get these young girls who have no self-esteem. They're dying to be groupies and be appreciated and be accepted by these popular guys because they got no self-esteem. Why? Because the father was not even if the father's at home, he was not allowed to be involved in the life of his daughters, in the lives of their daughters, right? So that's it. I mean, I can ramble on this all day long, but I think this needs to be talked about more. You look at these girls, behind every young girl like this who's being abused, there's a liberal mom. And I can argue and debate anybody on that topic. You don't believe me? Go watch the breakdancing dad situation. I don't know what his first name is. His last name is Hart. But the guy who's basically outed for abandoning his kids to pursue amateur breakdancing. Go watch that whole saga. And then come and tell me that I'm wrong. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.